Mum and Soph. We are just going to answer some questions, or actually one question that we have had from some listeners. So this question is a good one. How do I know when it's time to end therapy?
My first thought is that at the assessment session, I say to my clients that we will review the number, after a number of sessions, 4 or 6 sessions, and you can give me feedback about what's working, what isn't working. I also talk about endings, which is that we will have an ending, and I name that in the first session. And when we have the ending, will be a conversation between the two of us. I won't suddenly impose an ending on you, but it's an ongoing conversation so that we can both know where you're at and what more you need. And then there will come to a point where we both know that you've had enough.
Yeah, endings are hard. Sort of children and young people, what I often do is reduce. So if things seem to be going better, or for whatever reason it feels like the ending is on the horizon, I reduce to every other week and sort of see how that goes, and then we review again and say, let's end at Christmas or something. But yeah, exactly. I think it's an ongoing conversation, and it's actually often a conversation at the beginning because people want to know how long it's going to take, which is always difficult to answer right at the beginning.
Also, those conversations can be really fruitful in and of themselves, even if they don't end up in a decision about when to end, because it's what is it about that time that elicits that question. So I've had clients before that when I've gone away, then when I come back, they want to end. And sometimes that's had a conversation of like, oh, is it difficult when I go away for a period of time? It kind of can make the thing feel fragile, like, oh, you can just disappear on me. And that can lead to another whole conversation about endings in general, or relationships, or coming and going. So I think endings can be powerful because of what they represent as well as what they actually are in the sort of, have we done the work we need to do? And then my only other thought is also, I think often when I think about my own therapy offers in phases, that you don't need to be resolved on everything in your life, and often there's like a time for things. And then in this moment I did this piece of work of my whatever I wanted to work on, and then it felt like the right time to end, and then 2 years later there was something else came up, or something else got evoked, and then that was another kind of episode. I don't think we can always address everything we need to address in one phase, if that's the right word.
The other thing, as you were both speaking, that came to mind is that when I talk about endings with clients, I also ask them, a new ending will bring back a previous ending. So if they've seen me for grief, which obviously a lot of my clients do, it will kind of bring back the echo of the reason they came. But also, what's your default mode of coping in endings? Do you tend to cut and run? Do you never say goodbye? Do you want to hold on forever? What's your kind of default response? Because that is really worth working with towards the end, and you can agree a number of sessions, 6 sessions, 8 sessions, 4 sessions, so that you can work how you went through, which is so different from normal life.
Yeah, it gives you an opportunity to have a good ending when maybe lots of endings you've had in the past have been hard or not in your control. Sometimes, particularly with younger children, I do a little party.
Oh,
we have a little ending party with like balloons and games.
But we could do a version of that as adults, like a little celebration, like a ritual. That's such a nice
and I do
idea.
certificates. I do lots of certificates. You have graduated therapy.
I love that.
But maybe you'll come back one day.
Because since adults bring a lot of their child of themselves into the therapy, they'd probably love a certificate and a party and a celebration.
I let them know before. It's not a surprise party. It's I thought we'd have a party. Would you like that?
I've often I leave it quite open to how do you want the session to be? Do you want it to be a review? I don't sort of impose, but it's nice to think that I could put on that list, do you want to have a party?
Would you like a party?